Hi everyone, morning. There are many traditional styles of bonsai, which bonsai enthusiast or artist styles their trees in, and some of the less popular styles are like the Tanuki style, for example, right? So today I'm going to talk about the Tanuki style. So this style refers to a technique where a living tree is grafted onto a piece of a deadwood, which creates the illusion of an old and natural looking tree. So in this video you can see this is a Casuarina equisitifolia, which has been grafted or has been mounted on a deadwood. I had found a beautiful piece of deadwood, and I wanted to see how I can utilize the deadwood. So I took a young Casuarina tree and attached it to this piece of driftwood or deadwood, and placed it in a big pot and started growing the tree. And I also applied a couple of screws to ensure that this tree is firmly mounted onto the deadwood. You can see this is the mark of the screw. Now the screw has disappeared, it is inside the tree. And yeah, so what is Tanuki refers to a technique that involves joining a young living tree to a piece of deadwood, and often the deadwood should resemble a beautiful piece with weathered trunk and root system. And the goal is to create an illusion, so it creates an appearance of an aged and old looking tree. You can see this tree really looks old, you can see, but this is not the actual tree. You can see the actual tree right behind this deadwood, which is this tree. This is the trunk of the Casuarina. It has also got well matured because this is a 10-year-old tree. And so as I said, the goal is to create the appearance of an aged looking tree even if the tree itself is young, right? So the Tanuki, how does that name come from? Tanuki comes from Japanese techniques, where Tanuki refers to something which is mischievous, which deceives people, which is the idea is to join a young tree to a deadwood and deceiving the viewer. So sometimes if I would not have told you, you would have thought that this tree has a huge trunk and it has a lovely trunk with all carvings and those deadwood features as it is found in a natural tree. So the whole idea of Tanuki lies on the bonsai artist, how he can create this interesting piece in a deadwood and create a dramatic and characteristic bonsai trees. So it is all about deceiving, and this is how how the real art of the bonsai artist comes into picture. So yeah, today I'm going to give this Casuarina a trim. As you can see, the tree has really grown well, and this is a good season to give it a trim, because the more the leaves in Casuarina, the more water it will demand. This is a water loving tree, so I'm going to give it a good trim. Yesterday we had good rains here, so I thought this is the best day for us to give this tree a good trim, so that it grows back following the trim. So we'll get started with the trimming. Stay tuned, guys. As always, I will first remove any unwanted branches which does not add much value. I don't want any branches at this level, but I'll leave some wood here so it adds that natural texture to the tree. The tree was also infested with mealybugs recently, so I did a good spray of the pesticide that I recommended, that is mixture of chili, garlic and ginger and some soap or vim. So when I had sprayed, all the mealybugs were dead on it. So you can see still some places we have dead mealybugs. But yeah, as always, I'm going to start trimming the tree from the bottommost branch, and so creating those pads. I know it may be boring for you to watch the full trimming of the tree, but I'll try to see how I can make it interesting. So Casuarinas are water loving trees, as I said, and they love the rainy season because they get ample water. But in the summers, usually I protect them by applying some sphagnum moss. As you can see, there is a sphagnum moss here. Sphagnum moss will retain 20 times its own weight of water, so always recommend that you protect your Casuarina trees during the summer by applying moss. Some of these needles I'm just going to pluck. Casuarinas comes in different varieties. I think this is the Indian variety. We do have Thai varieties and some other very good varieties, but I have the Indian one. For the other varieties, I think the leaves are even more delicate, and those are the ideal varieties, but I'm trying to see how I can make the Indian one look good. And I had grown these Casuarina trees from seeds. I had bought seeds from Amazon. Sowed them right after rains in August. So I had got around 12 trees from those seeds, and I planted some of them in my apartment garden. Those have become huge trees now, and some of them I used one in this tree just to create this Tanuki-style. I had this driftwood. I had been looking out for this driftwood for quite some time. It was this driftwood was a, as you can see, it was a Inga dulci or Pithecelebium dulci tree, and I was admiring this tree on right next to the railway track for a long time. And one fine day, when the railway authorities and railway workmen removed the tree and threw it on the roadside, I thought of saving the tree, and I brought it home, and I put it in a pot, but unfortunately the tree did not come up. So then I thought I will use the driftwood or the deadwood still, because it was a beautiful piece. And I planted, and I had these Casuarinas that time, so I thought, let me give it a try. That was the first time I tried Tanuki-style, and it worked out very well. It is challenging to maintain this style because you need to keep treating the deadwood with a wood preserver like Minwax, or you can also apply some lime sulfur. I think both are available on Amazon. I'm just removing the overlapping branches. The tree may not look that great after I trim, but once it buds back, it will look very, very beautiful with those lovely new leaves. Casuarinas are one of my favorite species because it reacts very well to pruning and all the bonsai techniques. The only thing is you need to know the right season to do it, the right weather to do it. For example, I did not prune it till now when the weather was on the hot side. Yesterday it rained here, so I thought today I'll give it a trim. So you need to take care of those aspects, otherwise the tree is very receptive to all the bonsai techniques. If you have Casuarina trees and you're growing them, do share your experience as well. Do comment on this tree, because your comments really helps me to improve my trees. And also, as I always keep saying, I believe in mutual learning. If I do not know something about the tree, I can learn from you, and vice versa, right? It's all about sharing. The more we share, the more we learn. Now you can start seeing more of the deadwood, which is a key feature of this tree. Normally when you display these trees in an exhibition, most of the folks will not be able to recognize it, that it's a Tanuki-style. A deadwood has been used to attach to this tree. They will think that this lovely trunk belongs to this tree, and they'll start wondering how can that tree survive so long and how beautiful it looks. So it's all about deceiving or illusion, creating an illusion in the minds of the viewer by using these techniques. I love this technique, but I have not grown too many of it because it needs a lot of care in terms of keeping the deadwood preserved. If you do not apply those techniques to preserve the deadwood, after you attach the tree and the tree becomes mature, one fine day during the wood may become soft and it may start becoming loose. The tree may come out of the grooves, all those challenges it has. So we need to ensure that we take care of those challenges. It is completely okay to screw the young tree onto the deadwood, but make sure that the selection of the deadwood is also good. Always take hardwood, don't take softwood, like which will wear out over a period of time, because some of the softwood, what will happen is in the rainy season it will be wet and it may lose out all the wood. So make sure that you use hardwood for this technique, and keep preserving the wood by applying min wax or lime sulfur, or I may not be aware of all the things, but just to preserve the wood. I may shift this to a shallower pot later. I'm also trying to search for a good pot for it. This may look even better in a shallow pot, and once I apply the lime sulfur, the tree will look really beautiful with all new branches. When it sprouts back, it's going to look amazing. Bonsai is all about also imagination, right? How you can imagine how your tree will look once you bring it back to shape and when the tree buds back. So if you can imagine that, then half the technique of bonsai is learned, because it's all about imagination. How you can imagine your tree. Never think about the tree in its present state, think about the tree in the future state, right? So that is what it's all about. And a true artist knows how his or her tree will be in the future, and accordingly they work on their trees, right? So just like we care about our kids, we think about their future, what will they do. Bonsai is all about also thinking about your trees, training them, guiding them, and ensuring that the tree looks its best. And it never ends, right? You can never say that my bonsai, this is the end of it, this is the last stage of it, this is how it will look always. No, because the tree keeps growing. You evolve your design with that as the tree grows. So, and also in some cases we restyle the tree depending on how it looks at that point of time. So it's ever evolving, it never ends. So that is the beauty. You always keep learning, keep evolving, keep redesigning to make your tree look the best. I think I'm few more trims and I will be done. I tried Casuarina with cuttings as well. I have not been very successful with the cuttings, but with air layering, yes, I did create few trees with air layering. So air layering works very well, specifically during the rainy season and also the spring season. These trees, even in the rains, if you water them, they'll be happy and happy. And so these trees are water-loving trees. That's why you see Casuarinas along the shores most of the time, in sandy beaches and shores. And those areas, the trees really grows well. Here is how the tree looks after the pruning. So the aftercare for this is obviously you'll have to ensure that the tree is getting enough water to recover. I will, since I'm not repotting the tree, I'll still keep it in full sun, but I'll ensure to keep watering it at least twice a day.